Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer. In this video, I'm going to be trying out this Steelite Garden Shredder. It looks really easy to operate. I always have limbs down in my yard and I have flower beds too. So with this, I can take those limbs and turn them into mulch for free. You will need some type of a source of electricity. I have a long extension cord. Make sure it is rated for this type of tool. So first I'm going to take it out of the box. I'll assemble it and then I'll show you all of its key features. Okay, so you're gonna find the manual wheels. That looks like the tool that you would use to push down leaves and whatnot so that you keep your hands out of the blade. That would be a bad thing. Okay, here's the main tool, hubcaps, and some kind of a brace. And then that appears to be the collection bag. I think it goes without saying when you work with something like this, always wear, I'm gonna have my steel-toed shoes on, I'll have gloves and eyewear, and maybe even ear protection too. I don't know how loud this is. This does seem like it is made of a nice, like a steel tubing. There are protective ends on each side. This is like the wheel axle. This looks pretty straightforward. Oh, there's a big Allen key that comes with it. There are all kind of safety measures in the manual, and I'm not going to go over absolutely everything. This video would be 10 years long. So make sure if you buy this product that you do familiarize yourself with everything in it. I will touch on the main points that I think you should know. First, we're going to start off with the wheel axle. It talks about removing the end hardware. There's a bolt, a lock washer, and a regular washer. So it shows these as the left and the right bracket. And of course, you're going to be looking at it opposite. So those ends should like flare out. So what is going to end up being the right one, I'm going to start with that. And it shows this wheel axle coming through. Okay. There's like a divot in that, and then that cradles the rod. So it goes like that. There's an obvious back side, front side, faces out. And then take this hardware that has the bolt, the lock washer, the regular washer, and we're going to attach that. Okay, so I'm going to hand tighten that as far as I can go and then use my Allen key. Okay, so that appears to be attached. Once that is on, there are little tabs that correspond with the wheel, and go ahead and snap that on. Okay, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. This part. It doesn't feel like it ever really stops, so as long as this is on good enough, I think it should be sufficient. Okay, so now you have the base built. So now you can get the main body back out, and it says to flip this over. So apparently there's screws underneath here. And it says the wheels go on the same side as the handle, so this actually faces this way. Oh, I see. Okay, I would have got this wrong. So this actually has receptacles. Can you see those holes right there? So these actually go into that, and there are already screws. So you're going to need, what is that? Looks like a Phillips head. All right, so I'm going to take these out. Not all the way, because I don't want to lose them. So I just released these enough. And then it makes sense because here on the bar, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, there's a slot and then a hole. Okay, so these just go inside of there. Drop that in. Drop that. So here is the cord, which is pretty short. The on-off button is right here. All right, so the collection bag just goes on these loops, and then you're all set. And this doesn't look like it has a right or a wrong side. I think it's just, you could use it either way, but this is what you would use so you don't get your hands down in that chute. Don't ever be tempted to get your hands in there. That being said, let's take it for a spin. The wheels were really easy to transport out into my yard, and all you do is hook it up to a power source. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the collection bag on, and just a reminder, this is for smaller branches. 1.75 inches or less in diameter, or you can use leaves. Obviously, if you're working with sticks and leaves, you might have a little bit of moisture on it, but the manual is adamant that you should alternate between dry and wet materials, and don't use anything like oversaturated. You are going to have a little bit of moisture, most likely in the items that you're going to be putting in there. All right, so I'm going to start it up and show you. Probably something like this is just fine, and I don't want to work with these large sections, so I've been like stepping on them and making them smaller. And if there's any like offshoot branches, I've been trying to like pick those off too, just so it goes in nicer. All right, so let's start it up and see it work again. There are these little notches, which I'm sure you're supposed to use as a guide to feed the material in. Now, if this does get jammed, it has a protection that will make it stop. So if you do get it jammed, make sure you unplug the machine, and you can twist this unlock button right here. Okay, so if you want to take this off to clear a jam, you just open that up. And there's a good look at the blade that spins around. So you can open that, clear your jam, shut it. Just make sure, again, that you don't get complacent with this and try to clear a jam while it's plugged in. That's just a recipe for disaster. Make sure you always unplug anything or take a battery off before you're working with the moving parts. But that is what the inside looks like. Very simple, but very effective, I have to say. So far, I'm quite impressed. And the material you're left with, okay, so here's what the mulch looks like. And this bag is quite large. I don't know that it needs to be any bigger, but you are left with a nice fine mulch. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my flower beds. I usually buy mulch and I won't have to. And also I always have sticks that are down in my yard after storms, which looks like we're about to have another one. So I always have a supply of sticks, and usually I have to burn them, and I like this option better. So most of those sticks can be put through this machine, and then I'm left with all of that. This mulch really does look great in my flower bed. Just took a couple sticks to create this beautiful mulch. I definitely like this product. All right. Very nice. Look at that. This mulch really looks great, and I didn't have to pay for it, and I also got to clean up the sticks in my yard. So it's a 2-for-1 thing. It's like a win-win. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions on things I didn't cover, please leave them for me in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as well. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.